I've been asked to do videos on body positivity. I like that Megan Jane Crabb. She does bloody good videos on body positivity. Here's my one though, because I've got a different type of body and a different type of perspective, I'm sure. Did you know, like, I was a bit bulimic? Did you know I was a bit of a drug addict? Did you know I still sometimes don't like my body? I think, oh, that bit's a bit too fat. Oh, that bit should be bigger. It's hard. I think of body positivity sometimes as if it's an abstract thing that's sort of designed, particularly to primarily affect females, particularly since Brené Brown told me that men are affected by feeling that they're weak. That resonated with me. And women are primarily affected by body positivity. That's the way that they're attacked or whatever. Brené Brown told me. But I do sometimes not feel at all positive about my own body. It's curious as the balance of power necessarily changes between the sexes, that shame is still a utensil. We shouldn't be shaming one another about the way we look, should we? We should all be able to accept the way we are and our bodies, and that we ought not see our little vehicles here as some kind of currency or tool for credibility, that we recognise that the occupant, the person behind the eyes, is who we're dealing with, and their behaviours and their character and their nature. But it's very hard in a materialistic, individualistic culture that uses marketing to drive consumerism and is unconsciously materialistic in its approach to all things. It's difficult to return to a state where this spirit is acknowledged, isn't it? Even those of us that decry certain standards, we become somehow entrenchantly oppositional without suggesting an entirely new paradigm with entirely distinct and different rules. I suppose what I'll try and do is accept myself for how I am, although I do like trying to be fitter. How much of that is driven by inadequacy though? The trips I take to the gym, the runs I go on, the swims I go on, how much of that really is I must be better, I must be better? Some would say that's a good drive to have. Others would say, no, you've allowed a paradigm to be established externally and you are now living in accordance with it. You have signed off your individual freedom in accordance to a pre-existing cultural imperative to look a certain way, to be a certain way, even working itself. Why is it good to work? Why not just sit under a tree and read books or write books or trace your finger endlessly in spirals in the dirt and think about the limitlessness? Well, because there are economic imperatives. You've got to participate in society, and I believe we're so deeply indoctrinated that it's difficult for us to even reflect, or it's certainly very difficult for us to have any meaningful objectivity unless we've sought real powerful spiritual experience. I don't see how else an individual can step outside of the self. You can say, instead of hating my body, I'm going to love my body. Instead of hating other people, I'm going to love other people. But can we really envisage entirely new ways of being, new ways of relating to ourselves and one another? I hope we can. I hope we can set up structures and systems where we are accepted and loved, where we see things for what they are. Even the most progressive liberalist TV show, there's still motifs that are established by convention, beauty, attractiveness. You know, it's still very hard for I don't mean minority even, I mean majority, but silent, non-hegemonically received voices. I mean, you don't really watch TV soap operas set down a copper mine in the Congo, do you? There aren't any. You know, so what I mean to say is that there are people having experiences that are entirely unrepresented. That's what I'm saying. And if you want to feel positive about your body, then I suppose you have to start feeling positive in general and let go entirely of the external metrics by which beauty is established. You have to say, well, I am this thing and this thing is beautiful. Not, you know, or design some other metric and condemn other people for not fitting in with that. What I mean to say is that me, personally, I still feel ambivalent about the way that I look. Sometimes I look at myself and think, you're not really good enough. Other times I think, what does it matter? What does it really matter? Recently I went paddleboarding with Hiron Gracie, the jiu-jitsu master, who's all like, it's like some sort of leopard person, some sort of feline deity in and out of the water. And I think, well, this is how he's been made and cultivated, and this is who I am. We can't live continually in comparison and self-condemnation. It'd be nice that, wouldn't it, to just let yourself be who you are. Let yourself be who you are, but find a way of directing and growing, because it is good to be alive. And what I mean is not to just be in a place of dumb stasis, like here I am, just this. It's nice to have progress, but I keep hearing we mistake movement for progress. Maybe movement is good enough sometimes. So the way I'm going to accept myself is just going to try and ignore external standards and try my level best to drive forward as best I can as who I am, while acknowledging that there are all sorts of cultural influences at play that I'm unconscious of because I exist in this context. And I imagine you're the same unless you're some kind of transcendent deity. And if you are a transcendent deity, you won't be watching this from within a human body. You'll be just absorbing it continually through the ether. And you'll be all right. You don't need videos on your phone. Hello, I'm doing these new videos more frequently now. Please hit the notification button at the end of this video, because then you'll get a little bell when I post a new video. And I'd like you to get a little bell when I post a video. Then I can, I don't know, be buzzing away in your pocket. Sounds like I'd be like a little pocket mosquito. Anyway, subscribe, click the bell, because I want more people to watch the YouTube videos. You specifically.